Pop metal.
It was going to be, and it did.
All right,
Hey, welcome back.
to Pop's Metal Show. It's hot.
Larry Love.
String.
All right, we got top 5 Metallica.
Yeah, man.
And, well, this was an interesting one. I don't know about them two, but
It was
y'all
hard.
try to pick
Well,
top 5 Metallica songs.
you said it best. Tomorrow it's probably going to be a whole different list, or maybe the week after next, or something like that. But it's probably not going to be the same the next time I would go through the list.
And I approached it. Well,
And a whole different thing.
Yeah, I started out, I was going to do deep tracks by Metallica, and then I stuck the albums in, and that didn't last that long. So they got so much good music, especially the first 4 albums and the 5th one. And I think the 5th one's good too. But even, we saw in their covers.
Yeah, and that was the first thing I texted when he said 5. I was like, so are we going 5 Metallica songs or 5 cover songs? So I went with both. So.
Yeah,
He's got a whole separate list of cover songs.
did
I could probably come up with a couple right off the top of my head that I really like, but
yeah, and they're probably.
And that was hard too. So
We actually posted on Pop's Metal Show.
show.
Group.
.com.
the Book of Faces.
What we just they had it rough. They had to pick out one song. So why don't you take care of that?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting old now, so I got to put my readers on here.
With the
I
readers
keep
on.
my readers on all the time.
All right,
For a
so
long time, right?
so most of this is off of the Book of Faces, and we got a couple that were separate, but see if I can go through here real quick. West Dove was For Him to Bell Tolls. Jason Klein was the same thing, even though I forgot to write it down. I'm going to save that one for last because that was an odd one. Scott Weingard was Ride the Lightning. John Dyson was Gimme Fuel. Doug Miller was Enter Sandman. Randy Hartman was Creeping Death. April Riggleman.
I saw Doug. You just said.
No, April Riggleman was Enter Sandman. Jerry Lambert was Leper Messiah. So that's a great song. Eugene Bear, Bread Fan. That's probably one of my favorite cover songs. Tyler Anderson, Fade to Black. Andy Stiltner. One. Mike Reaver, Seek and Destroy. Ray Farley, Thing That Should Not Be. And Shauna, we're not real sure. We forgot what the last
M3.
name from M3, so I'm sorry, we forgot your last name. Damage Case. And Jason Lamb and Ryan Sweeney both liked Enter Sandman. Oh, and I got to go back up. The oddball song that we all thought was strange, but it's their favorite song, so we're not hounded on that. It's just
That's all you, man.
yeah. So Josh Whittington likes Whiskey in the Jar. That was his favorite one.
And while we got that, I'm going to do this. So I was curious after I was telling him about the whiskey in the jar thing,
Yeah.
and we were all blown away by how popular that song was.
It was like top 4.
Top 5.
So
Yeah,
I,
top 5.
Well, it was 5 the other day. It could have went up.
when I told String, so I went on Spotify, and this is streams, and this is the top 5 Metallica streams.
Streams,
So-
not strings.
Streams.
I heard you. I knew what you said.
So one was, of course, Enter Sandman. That had 703,701,726,000. Or yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
just say 700.
And I'm not going to read all the numbers for everything. But then number 2 coming in was Nothing Else Matters,
I can get that one.
and 3 Master Puppets, which
Good
is
song.
awesome.
Yeah.
And 4 is The Unforgiven, which is pretty impressive. 3 of the top 5 are Black Album songs.
When you
Well,
can see that
and that was
because
probably
that
their-
album, everybody and their damn dog has it. So
And they still buy it.
and every 1,000 a week. So
And number 5 was Whiskey in the Jar.
So top
And it
5.
just blew my mind that
That song was that big.
Yeah.
For them, anyway.
Never
that people
would
liked
ever-
it that much, anyway. I
never
guess.
would ever
For
dream,
streams.
that would rank higher than For Him to Bell Tolls.
Or
Or
all kinds of other
Yeah.
great songs. Yeah. But then that just kind of shows you that.
And it was also played the shit out of. So
yeah.
And, I kind of wonder, too. I mean, I know I'm not saying it's only young people that use Spotify. I mean, we're no spring chickens by any means. But I'm kind of wondering, as far as numbers that they're pulling, like the amount of people that actually are streaming those songs, like what age bracket they're in and where that falls, and I'd be kind of curious to know those numbers.
Well, I'll get into it more about some of my picks on why to explain kind of where you're going with this with the whole age variety thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you might as well start her.
Yeah, I'm just going to come in.
Coming in hot.
These are no separate. The only order they're in is they're off in, I guess, the order they was released. But I'll go with
And
number
as they
one.
were released, as in
Albums.
albums
First
off
one's
their
Kill 'Em
albums.
All. I did a
Okay.
song off each album.
Okay.
Off the first 5. So, what better? Dave Mustaine helped write the song, and we're all at this table. We're all Megadeth fans, you know. And you wonder what he could have done with Metallica, but he wouldn't have had Megadeth if they wouldn't have got rid of him. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
makes sense.
Tip tap.
Yep.
So, Jumping the Fire is coming in at number 1 for me, off Kill 'Em All. And that was, and believe me, when I went through and listened to the album, that's what we talked about. It wasn't easy to pick.
You go ahead and pick yours. I didn't really. I kind of put mine in an order of like 5 to 1 because I'm always bad about just throwing them in there. And I thought, well, I'm gonna try to organize them in like once I got my 5 songs picked, like how
This time I didn't really even try to.
Well,
go.
and I tried to, and I don't know that I got it particularly in the way I prefer it to be.
First one I wrote down would be For Whom the Bell Tolls, and I was, you fight fire with fire, called it cool, like Trapped Under Ice, and it was just like, I wanted to at least get something off Ride the Lightning.
Yes.
So I went with For Whom the Bell Tolls, Cliff, off Cliff 'Em All, the whole time.
Yeah.
Just
And that
swinging.
was-
that red mop.
I think that's what Jason commented on in his comment was the bass. He was going to go with that, or somebody commented that they go with that just for the whole bass intro, and the
Yep.
whole Cliff thing.
And it's
That
just
was-
so
I think it was
badass.
such a
So, and you can see Jason, me also had a little bit of taste of the same.
Well, sticking
Since
with,
we're in the days between, I hope you're celebrating, Jay.
and since we're sticking with Ride the Lightning,
Yeah.
I'm going Trapped Under Ice.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I just like. I mean, that was, and I've told you this before, and I don't know if I've told you, but that was like my first taste of Metallica, and that was well after Ride had already been out for a long time, and I'm assuming maybe Master was already out. And it had to be in between Master and Justice when I first got into Metallica, but Ride the Lightning was my first album. That's why I kind of gravitate towards that always being my favorite album. So, and then for me to pick a favorite from that album, it's
Also with
kinda hard
that,
to
I
do.
was at the beginning of Zombieland when it starts off and it's For Whom the Bell Tolls,
yeah.
and I knew that movie was gonna be badass
Yep.
right off the get go.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, they're rocking For Whom the Bell Tolls. Okay.
so. All right, that's my number 5.
All right, so we
pick.
might as well just
Stick with Ride.
stick with that.
Well, that's right, because you're going
Yeah,
from
because he's going in with
Randy Hartman said it best. Creeping Down.
Yeah, so
Still-
badass.
It's still as good today as it was the first time.
Hell yeah.
I mean, and when you go chanting "die" because when they're on stage, that's just like it just gets you so into the show. And I mean, Creeping Death's just a hard song, but I mean, it's like anything else they do. But
And you gotta love that album, that single
Yeah.
art for that too. That's
Yeah, the
badass.
skull, like Castle Grayskull, as I always call
and
it.
it's kind of odd that my first 2 were EPs.
Yeah.
Creeping Death, Jumping the Fire, and Creeping Death.
So
But
true.
That wasn't even planned. So, all right, that was my number 2, Creeping Death.
I had written Damage in Court, but then I scratched it out, and I had. Well, no, actually, that'd be but Battery was my next actually that I had written down because it's the intro to Masters, and so that's where I'm going with that. I can't say anymore. We've talked so much about Metallica and all the other videos we've done. So
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
everybody knows how great they are. I mean,
Yeah.
they wouldn't
Yeah.
be the biggest band in the world if nobody liked them.
Yeah.
and you know how
exactly.
I am. I like acousticing. So like that intro with the acoustic, and it's just fucking awesome.
Well, I'm gonna stick with the Red Mop Man. I'm going Anesthesia Pulling Teeth.
There we go.
There you go.
I gotta have, I was sitting thinking about it. I was like, man, I gotta have something, Cliff Burton, like, strong, and you can't go no stronger than that song. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much all him. So,
And he
you
was a
gotta
big
love
part
that.
of that. He was huge.
Well, and that's why he's in that band.
They moved they moved to San Francisco just for Cliff.
And and then that's what I was reading some stuff up on Wikipedia, so I'm sure it's all true.
Of course.
But it was saying that that's how when they saw Cliff for the first time, that he was playing that with Trauma, I think it was
Trauma.
Trauma. And that was one of the reasons why they wanted him in the band, just because of that, seeing him play that live.
He played a bass like a guitar.
He was a force.
Yeah, because it said that they were trying to count how many strings he had, and like, dude, that's a bass, not,
And it's
not a
for
guitar.
Rickenbacker, like his old
Yeah.
school Rickenbackers and stuff.
All
All
right.
right, you're up next.
So I'm with Love. I'm going with Battery.
Nice.
And you know, after I thought about it, you said Damage Incorporated. I tell you what, I don't know if there's another album out there that comes in as strong and goes out as
Yeah.
strong. I mean, they're probably the two of the heaviest songs on there. And that one's begin. But Battery, my whole thought on Battery, the acoustic part, but Battery just kicks your ass and sets the whole stage
Starts
for
it,
the whole album.
just gets it going, man. Just gets
If
it
you want
going.
to set up an album, they done it. I mean, Battery set up, because I love Master Puppets. I love that song. But Battery set the whole stage. And that was probably one of the first songs I heard, you know, because it's the first song on the album.
Yep.
So I'm coming in with Battery.
And we're going to continue it because Master, right behind Battery, is my third one. So, I mean, because, like I said, I had Damage Incorporated, and like I was thinking about Soldier, and it just,
That album's hard.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was. It was
there's
a very
a lot
hard
of good
one.
shit on that song.
And so I was like, you know, I'm going to be commercial. And I'm going with Master because it's just a great song, and it's badass. And
It's a
after hearing
well-wrote
Battery,
song.
it goes right in, you know, so it flows well. And
It's that album's just like you know, Ride the Lightning for me. It's
Songwriting on Masters. The song Master is just lyrically, musically.
it's
I mean, it's
awesome.
like a roller coaster ride. I mean, you got where you're slowing down, and you're going up the hill, and then it's like you're going
And it can
off.
show that metal could be a 13-minute long song. You
Yeah.
know?
That they could do it without a video.
Yeah, they did it without a video too.
Yeah.
So
And they're still doing, I mean, the streaming numbers, it was number 3. I mean, it's not bad for a song that, you know.
and
So
we're also
that's
now
competing
looking
with-
at 20 some
probably more than
30
that.
years. So all
yeah,
right,
we're,
it's
not,
up to
we're
you.
not gonna get
No,
into
we ain't gonna go
We're not
further. I
gonna.
ain't counting math.
You're trying to depress us. You're bringing us down.
All right, well, I'm going back to album number 1, and I'm going Motor Breath. That's how I
that
live
one
my
too,
life.
dude. Oh
That
yeah.
one was
I
close
love
to-
that song, and it's just so so heavy and just so fast and just I don't know.
I think that's another Dave song, too.
I think so. Yeah.
And it's
Nice.
also the one that with Mechanics, right off of
That's Four Horsemen.
Four Horsemen. Yeah.
Horsemen, yeah.
Yeah.
See, and there's another one. That's another great song. That was like right there, too. I mean, I had a lot of them where,
Well, and we had it easy because we got to pick 5.
yeah.
yeah.
Everybody else got to pick 1.
Yeah. So,
Now, I mean,
yeah, so we kind of gave y'all them the hard spots.
Yeah.
So, y'all just me go. for
yep.
it.
Roll with it.
All right, I picked 1. And the
One?
reason I picked 1 was anybody's a
200 beats per minute.
Metallica fan will know that
I think it's Blackened.
1 that took them to a whole new level.
oh.
Yeah, because I mean they finally posted a video.
Because 1 was before 1 Metallica was our band.
Yeah.
After 1 Metallica was the world's band.
Yeah.
I mean, they
MTV, they finally.
exploded. And they was, I mean,
Not that they didn't earn that or deserve that.
It was almost like they were shot out of a cannon, and just destined to be huge. I mean, I just remember, you know, because I've always said that about Black Label Society too, but Metallica was on a whole different level. Just watching the growth of Metallica, we got to watch that. And
Become a
just-
worldwide
Yeah.
band.
and
Every
still-
household.
and still sound good live. And even if you don't agree with their stuff nowadays, you still go see them live. You still enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And
Well, even the they've been playing some of the S&M2 on Liquid Metal. I've caught a couple songs off there, and even I mean, you listen to that with the orchestra and everything. I mean, just how more.
Complex and full.
Yeah, it gives you more power to the song.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole
That's
nother
the
level
word,
that
exactly.
yeah, it's I mean it's impressive just that.
because, well, the thing that should not be,
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's heavier
Oh,
on
yeah.
S&M than it is on
Right.
Master Puppets.
Oh yeah.
Just then, like you said, just for it's bringing more power to the table. with
You
that
got
song.
more layers and complexity and depth to it, and it's
Yeah.
it definitely.
And you definitely see that by the time the Black album,
Oh,
the way
yeah.
that album was produced.
Oh, it was layered. They said what, like 5 guitar layers of guitars
Right.
they had for James's rhythm. That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for my fourth, and it's a twofer, and I don't care what y'all say, but it's Anesthesia and Whiplash together, because I can't listen to Whiplash without listening to Anesthesia, and I can't listen to Anesthesia without
Vice
listening to
versa,
Whiplash. So both of those together is, and like back to Motor Breath, just all, Kill 'Em All is my favorite Metallica album from get go to the end. So, and like I said, we were saying with Cliff and playing bass, and he played it like a guitar, and everything we've already talked about. So that's what I had to go with, is Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth, and Whiplash, because they're together.
I'm on my number 4 or number 2. I went backwards, so I'm
Well, mine would be number 2 too. I'm going as my,
Yeah.
I guess, kind of as my.
I'm going back home to my sanitarium.
There you
so
go.
That's my
Sanitarium.
number 4.
There's another one. I mean, yeah.
And it's just that whole, just that build up, and then you get that, explosion there. It's just that, I don't know, it's an awesome song. And again, everything off of Masters, it's a masterpiece.
It is a masterpiece. It is truly
It is.
a masterpiece.
It
It
is.
should be in
And-
everybody's collection. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
But trying to narrow that down, and that's,
I mean, their musicianship, not knocking any of the other thrash bands, but Metallica's musicianship was like no other. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the changes they were doing and the directions they would take songs. And I mean, they turn it on and then bam, like that, they could turn it off. And I mean, just take the song in a completely different direction. And then build it up and then just come back and rip your head back off in the same song. I mean, because their songs were, more lengthier.
Yeah, because it is today. Because
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, they didn't cookie cut the 3 minute and 5 seconds. I mean, they took metal songs 7, 8, 9 minutes. So
I mean, pretty much the first 2 albums, they were somewhat shorter songs. Not all of them, obviously. I mean, there were
Right.
some 3-4 minute songs, but then with Master, you start seeing the longer, and then when you got Justice, my gosh, you got
That was like 75 minutes.
yeah, it's a lot of long songs
Album,
on
I
that.
think, and that was like double. Most of the hair bands and stuff, they were releasing like 35 minutes, 40 minutes albums. Here, Metallica saying, they released the vinyl, it's on double cassette. I mean, it's on double vinyl. I mean, because it's so much music, and it's only 9 songs. And one of their biggest songs is One, and I think that's one of the longest songs they've ever wrote.
and to make that as a radio song.
Yeah. I mean, even the edited version,
It was still
the jamming
long.
version is still long.
Yeah, it's like a 5 minute long song.
I think the longest one on was like 9 minutes and something.
Yeah, I think that's To Live Is To Die.
Yeah.
I know that's
think
a
so.
lengthy one. That
I
one
think
had,
there was
like,
another one that was up there, not
maybe
quite as long, but it was the
maybe
thing that should
Song
not
of
be.
Justice.
Or no, that's no, I can't remember. I got all these songs stuck in my head now, trying to read through all that stuff.
So y'all want me to go for number 5 then?
Yeah.
man.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up with Wherever I May Roam. And the reason why I picked that is Love went to the show. We went and seen Metallica, I think it was 92, on the Black Album tour. They was by themselves. And Jason, he was really a big part of them then during this era, especially what we've learned after doing their videos, how powerful his backup was.
Yeah, man.
But when I watched the video, it reminds me of the show we went to. And I do truly like to think it's an awesome song too.
Yeah.
But it takes me back to what music does. It takes me back to a time when that show was freaking awesome. I mean, that was
With the
great.
spaghetti western at the
Yeah.
beginning, it was using the Clint
And
Eastwood.
them doing the video where they're going around the city.
So, yeah,
Then we get to see them, coming up the tunnels and stuff to come on stage.
and then showing the crowd and like all the crowd people where they're in
Yeah.
with yeah, it was cool.
And it's just, that even, I don't know if you remember James and Kirk sitting on them steps back to back playing the solo to Ryan.
Right.
Just little stuff like that. And it's like every time I watch that video, it takes me back to that show, and that's, probably one of the greatest shows I've ever been to.
The ride home was a whole nother story.
Yeah, that still needs to be a good podcast.
Yeah, fuck those bridges.
Yeah. But anyway, besides the ride home, that ain't.
But if we didn't have that ride home, we wouldn't have the story for
There
it.
you
So
go. There you
and
go.
I guess that's all. We
Yes,
can
all
look
that
back
is.
and laugh. The salad days.
And that was what I talked about earlier. That's when Metallica was not our band anymore.
Yeah, they had already hit the world.
Everybody's band.
Well, I think they were slowly becoming.
Yeah, they
but
were.
I mean,
Yeah.
but MTV definitely pushed that.
To the next level.
Yeah.
So my last one, we had Motor Breath, we had Phantom Lord. I went with Seek and Destroy just because when I was a kid, first starting, listening to Metallica, I loved that song, and so to this day. So, and then
song.
I'm gonna just blast through my covers real quick. I had Last Caress and Green Hell,
That's a great song.
but then in total, I might as well throw Die Die My Darling and just throw all the Misfit songs in there. So
I'm not as much on that as Last Caress.
Last Caress.
I like that. That's
in
That
their
whole
version.
beat, that whole beat.
yeah.
And that one, Am I Evil, Stone Cold Crazy, So
great,
What,
too.
and Bread Fan.
Bread Fan,
so,
Good fan, definitely.
and that was hard too, because you have like
Well, that's true.
Blitzkrieg, and there's
I didn't think about that. Yeah, because there's a pile. I mean, that's kind of It's like picking your kid, which kid you like.
yeah. And it was that was all of mine, and it was fun.
Well, I had initially told myself I was picking only from the first 3 albums, and then when I started going through there, I'm like, I got to pull something off of Justice, so I'm going with Dyer's Eve. Love that song, and it's actually the shortest song on the album.
Is it?
Yep,
Wow.
5 minutes 14 seconds.
Again, what I was saying
the
earlier,
next
5
shortest song
minutes.
was like 5 minutes. It was like 15 seconds longer or something like that. But yeah, I love that song. It's, I don't know, it's just the whole.
Well,
I just wish it had a little bit more space to it, but
Yeah,
on the
but
whole
we all
album. But
know
yeah,
every
we all know about
story.
that. But
It's been told a million times. But yeah,
but yeah, that I mean that whole album is really good. I think there's a lot of songs on there I wish they would have shortened up a little bit. I think they made it too long on a majority of them, but all in all though, that is a great album. I mean,
think it hurt their album
no, it did not,
No.
and it's a strong album.
Yes, it is.
but I do agree with you. I mean, but that's just Metallica being Metallica. They're still kind of giving the world the middle finger, going against the grain. But
Yeah.
but then it's getting ready. The shit's getting ready. To
Yep,
change.
it got real quick.
Yeah, because then they waited 5 damn years.
Yeah.
But it didn't hurt now. The sales none. God.
It hurted fanship.
Yeah.
I don't know that it hurt.
It depends on how you look at
Yeah.
it. Yes.
It depends on your
The commercialization.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way.
yes.
I think Jason Newsted put it best in a year and a half of life. Yeah, we sold out every freaking
Against
night.
every show.
Well,
And he's right.
he's not wrong.
I mean, he's always said he was there for. I don't really know how to put it. I guess he was in Metallica at the right time as far as he's set for life.
Yeah.
He's always said, I'll always be grateful for that. 'Cause Cliff was the pioneer. Mm-hmm. But by the time Jason come in, it was huge.
And we gave no love to Ron McGovern.
And then what
Who?
what they pay, they actually give Robert a contract, $1 million that you don't go play with nobody else, on top of whatever he's making. It's just crazy. When you
Well, he's played with Rodrigo Gabriel.
yeah. But I mean,
guess
he won't
when he-
have. But
right.
he's signed with Metallica.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might be.
That
free
was
agent.
probably, I think those shows that he was just out there playing with them.
Yeah, that
just
was an
as
encore.
Yeah, that was like a
And I'm
one-off
sure he
kind of
still
thing.
does stuff with Suicidal.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think he does.
You're probably right, because I haven't heard
I don't
anything
think he does.
suicidal-wise in a while.
I know they put out, they had an album here recently, but I'm pretty sure he's not on it.
Oh, I would imagine he would not be.
Yeah. I didn't know the contract thing.
Now, when they played Stephen Colbert's show, Robert had the Infectious Groove box, like because they had like out on the show like their boxes for like their equipment, and he had the infectious groove.
I mean, he's probably using the same cabinet that he had back then. You know,
Right.
it's probably the same one.
Seeing that, yeah, and I mean, I tell you how they're even doing like national anthems, like Kirk and James do for the Giants, San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
And they do the national anthem. So I mean, that's how big they are. I mean, you're doing national anthems for pro baseball games, and you're.
Well, they let Roseanne Barr do that. And we all saw.
Well, we
James
all
and
know
Kirk
how
did-
well that went.
James and Kirk did a little bit better.
I would hope so.
But I mean, just I don't know. When I sit back and take it all in and think about, we saw these guys start out in the bar scene, and they are pretty much our Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
because we
we
grew up
watched
with-
them grow and
Yeah.
become the world's.
Because we didn't grow up.
Well, they're our arrows,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin. Yeah, I would agree with that.
And that's that's pretty awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
to somebody that still enjoyed, and I still like when we talked about doing this, and I mentioned to the guys, I enjoyed it when I went and sat down and listened to stuff. It's like
I didn't because there was too many freaking songs to pick from. It's
Well,
I made it quick because, like I said, we're in the days between. So I took a little break from Jerry, but I was only like, okay, yeah, because after I hear it, within a minute or two. Now some of them I did go a little longer on, but
yeah.
it's like okay, yeah, and then okay.
so y'all want to have them comment section.
Throw 'em down there.
Yeah, throw it in there, man.
If you
Do
got
it.
5, throw your 5 down there. If you got 1, whatever. You just
What you enjoy with Metallica.
if you got like
Or what
a
nice-
memory of
Or,
some
yeah.
show or something cool happened. Just throw that down there too. We like hearing those stories too.
Yeah, Fred likes to do that. He likes to tell stories of when he's met people and.
Well, yeah, we got some good ones too. I mean,
His Avenged Sevenfold story is the best though,
No,
but
yeah.
I'll tell them about that later. But he
Yeah,
said he
we're
left
at
it
the
in
26
comments.
mark.
He left it in comment sections, but yeah, Fred's usually got some pretty interesting stories. Y'all want to roll out? here
yeah,
again?
we're getting
Let's
long.
do
If we have an audience left,
Yeah, the
we're doing
newest
good.
shirt, man.
Shirts are here.
So we officially have our shirts now.
And
We
we-
got to come up with something for a giveaway.
Yeah.
I thought about that yesterday, and I thought about it again today. I was like, well, we got to figure out something.
And we're probably gonna have some other stuff thrown in
Yeah.
with the shirt.
There's other merch.
Yeah, so we got some stuff in the works coming. So we're
And everybody's got a shirt. Thanks. That was
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Because
we really sold a lot locally, just off the jump.
Yeah.
And we haven't had them because
2 weeks.
It's
like 2 weeks maybe, if that.
Back. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was a
now I've
good
got
too.
almost all the first batch up.
Yeah,
But actually,
so-
the money that came in for the shirts is purchasing. Should we go ahead and tell them?
No, let's keep it a secret.
Well, it's more.
More
Merch.
more merch,
More
but
merch.
different merch.
Yeah, it
But
actually
something
worked out
cool
pretty good.
that's going to be more for giveaway, like handout kind of stuff. So,
Thanks for the support.
yeah,
Always.
yeah, we appreciate everybody's
Yeah.
comments, good or bad.
Might as well get that thing started rolling.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
gotta
let's
get
get
this
warmed up. But yeah, we appreciate everything that everybody's done for us the whole time and
It's
comments.
because you all. I mean,
love,
really,
yeah.
for sure.
even the hate.
Yeah, we'll take
Yeah,
it
we
too.
get that.
We
the thumbs
take that
down.
too, yeah.
Hey, you
Nobody
know.
explains. One person did.
We have
explain.
one. Yes, we had one.
And I was so happy they explained.
I appreciated that. I think I even told him that. I appreciate that.
So I guess everybody stay safe, stay strong.
Like and subscribe. Hey, hey.
There you go. Until next time, thanks for hanging.
Peace out. Throw it.
Nope.